Hello Gemini, welcome back to my channel. I'm Delilahs and we're doing January, and I know this is dropping in the middle of January, but this is for the rest of January 2023. And let's just get started here. I'm going to be using tea leaves, um, 2 tarot decks, and we'll get into that a little bit later. If you have any questions on the decks, just let me know. Drop me a message, like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into these tea leaves. So you have the harp. So great happiness, and I think that's what you're working on. You know, if you ever listen to the harp, it's a very peaceful, very gentle tone, and that gentleness is what I want you to be for yourself. I want you to seek happiness, but be gentle with yourself. If you take a couple of steps back in seeking that happiness, that's okay. We revert to what we know, even sometimes when it makes us miserable. It's the routine of things, and it's hard to break that. So be gentle with yourself, and you will find great happiness, and it's something that you're working on for yourself. You have affairs with your family, and I think this ties into that happiness. I think for you, it's your happiness is tied in with other people, and sometimes we need to let those relationships go, because you're looking for a resolution that you possibly can never get, right? I'm not telling you not to try. I'm telling you to draw a line in the sand and put a limit on the control your family has for you. Sometimes it's the families, we create that bring us the most happiness, and that's okay too. I know that it's human nature to seek those, and you know, from whence we came. So it's you want that connection with your mother, your father, your children, extended family members. But it's a two-way street. It's a relationship that has to be symbiotic. If no one else is going to make a change, are you going to wait for them and be miserable, or are you going to seek your happiness and work on it? Be gentle with yourself. It's not an easy decision, but keep working towards it, right? I always tell my daughter, life is a marathon. It's not a race, We got to be in it for the long haul. December, right? I know December seems far away, but as we see during COVID, these years just flew by. I think that you are going to have or feel your most happiness around December. And again, it's a marathon. So take your time, work on yourself. As I always say, if you need to seek help in terms of therapy, I think, it's very important. We all need somewhere to vent, a neutral person. Career is also on your brain, right? So you also have career goals and aspirations. Uh, but like many of us, our emotions can get the better of us in our business world. So make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so that you can move forward in terms of your career. Some of you may be seeking a different career, may be looking into moving on. And we'll get clarity as I draw the tarot. But I think, for you, you see how everything falls in line here? Once we get these two together, everything else comes into fruition. And I think that this is telling you to take steps. Take steps. Get here first, and then, things will improve here. This could be a long-term goal you're setting, and this is why we have the December. But I think that everything will fall in line for you because you're working hard. All right, so let's go for Gemini. Gemini, January 2023. Let's see. Business and career, please. Business and career. Can I get some clarity on business and career? Business and career for Gemini 2023. Business and career for Gemini 2023. Well, you are working on your happiness because we have the Ten of Cups here. Now, Ten of Cups is a completion, but I think it's the completion where you understand that we have to let certain things go so that you can make your own happiness. I think you're at your last straw, Tens are completion. You're completing the cycle. You're turning the corner into making this happiness for you. Um, we do have the Lovers card here. Now, it could be a relation. I'm sorry, this is the Two of Cups. Excuse me. You have the Two of Cups here, and the Two of Cups is a relationship. Now, I've specifically asked for a business and career, and this is where it's interesting, right? Because if we look at the Lovers card, it was about choices, and right, the Two of Cups was considered the marriage card. But I think this is the commitment you are making uh, towards your own goals, right? For some of you, yes, this is going to bring love, happiness, fulfillment. I think for many of you, because I asked for a career and we have the Temperance card, this is telling you to have your foot in both worlds, to work on both together. Emotions here, because we are rampant with the water, and this angel has their foot in the one foot in the water and one foot on the earth, finding the balance between the both, because one has taken over the other. So maybe you have sacrificed your personal life for your career, or vice versa. This is telling you, whatever that is, whatever you pour more into, it's time to bring the balance back so that you can be happy, right? The bottom of this deck, you have the Seven of Wands. You know, you've been in self-preservation mode for a very long time. That's what that Seven of Wands is telling me. Like, you have just done battle after battle. Your guard is always at the ready, always high. And how can you work on what needs to be worked on if you're always fighting, but mostly fighting yourself at this time? This person has no balance. They are not dipped in both worlds. He has his feet firmly placed on the earth. So for a lot of you, the balance has been towards work mostly, and not the emotional aspect, because you haven't been able to deal with your pains of the past. But again, it's coming to the forefront again. And until you correct it, it will affect, your life. In terms of business and career, your career is going to be fine, right? Your career is going to be fine. It's just telling you to find the balance in your personal life. Let's get some light seers here. And for many of you who have been work focused, it's telling you to focus on your relationship. If you're looking for a relationship read, it's time to if you're single, it's time to start thinking about if you're ready for a partnership. And I mean, you have to be ready, emotionally ready. If not, you're going to pick up the same types of people you've been picking up, whether they be verbally, mentally abusive. It's going to be a repeat of the tree. If the tree is dysfunctional, but you never deal with the roots, you're going to grow the same thing. Let's see here. Right. And this is telling you, again, we have the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Wands. It's all about learning. It's, you're on a journey to learning things in business and career, learning about financial things, learning about yourself, learning a new skill or task at work. You're in your infancy again, and this doesn't have to deal with how old you are. This has to deal where you are mentally, emotionally. And this is telling me that you're on your journey. Wands have to deal, it's considered like the career cards, along with Pentacles, which is our financial card. So it's telling you to be like a student again, and just take things step by step, learning. You have Three of Cups at the end of this, which means that you're headed towards your goal. You're going to be happy. For some of you, it will be a move. It would be a physical move, or doing something that makes you joyful. This person is looking out. It could be traveling. It could be backpacking in a van life. It could be flying somewhere. But it's something that has to move you. It's something that has to bring you joy. And I want to put the emphasis on something that moves you, something that brings you joy, whether that's traveling, whether it's an actual move in career or states, but it's something that has to feed that part of you because, again, you've just focused on career, 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 work, 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 work. It's time to do something for your emotional self. Let's give you a final card, Gemini. So I'm using Rider-Waite-Smith. It's a classic deck. I'm using lights here, tea leaves, and in my hand is Madame Endora's Oracle cards. And let's just give you a final card here. Water, emotion. Emotions are at their peak, and it needs to be addressed. This just sums up the reading perfectly. I'm Delilah Rose, and this is Delilah's Spiritual Spot.